Hi guys, welcome back to Living in Canada. Today I want to share with you the 9 essential clothing items that I think anyone should have to survive the winter here in Toronto, Canada. I've been living here in Toronto for 2 years now, so I'm starting to know more and more about the winter here. Today it's around -4 degrees Celsius, and this year we haven't really gotten to those -20 degrees Celsius temperatures yet. But you definitely want to be prepared for that if you are planning to come to Canada in near time or even up until March or April, because last year it even still snowed in April. This video will be relevant especially for those of you who get cold very easily. I am personally that kind of person. I freeze very easily. So let's get right into it. The first item that you definitely need is innerwear, like the one that I'm wearing right now. So this shirt I got from Uniqlo, but of course you do not have to buy it from Uniqlo. There are a lot of brands who offer similar kind of innerwear, but I am especially happy with this brand. I've got this about 2 years plus ago, and until now it still serves me very well. It is very warm. And the great thing about this innerwear from Uniqlo is, and by the way, I am not sponsored here. This is not sponsored content in any way. I wish I were. Anyway, so the great thing about this innerwear is, which is called Heat Tech, by the way, is that it comes in different levels of heat. This is the basic one. I forgot what it's called exactly. I think just warm. Then there's an extra warm and also an ultra warm. And ultra warm is obviously the warmest one. This innerwear is really important for layering because the weather here changes so drastically. It could be -4 today, but -20 tomorrow, and the next day it could be +2 degrees Celsius. So you want to have the ability to layer different kinds of innerwear with your pullovers and your jackets, so you have the choice and you can customize the perfect level of warmth for you. Personally, for me, when it comes to innerwear, the basic level of warmth has worked out very well for me, up to temperatures of maybe -8, -10 degrees. When it gets colder than that, then I usually switch over to the extra warm, which I will show you in a minute. This is another one I have, and it's kind of a nude color, and it is a good idea to have different colors and also different necklines so you can combine it with the different clothing items that you have. For example, I would wear this nude color under pullovers that have a lighter color or a white color. And this is another one I have. So this kind of a neckline, I think it's called scoop neckline, is especially useful if you have a pullover with a kind of a V-neck or something that is a bit more revealing, so it doesn't stick out of your clothing. But the ones that I wear most frequently are those with the darker color, like this dark navy blue or a black one with this, I think it's called crew neck. I think that the material is so nice that it's fine to be worn on its own, so you don't necessarily need to wear a sweater on top of it. If it gets too warm, if the heater is really warm inside, you'll just be fine just wearing this, and I think it looks pretty decent. And this is the one extra warm Uniqlo t-shirt that I have, and it's supposed to be twice as warm as the one that I showed you earlier. And this is also again very fine to be just worn on its own, but I don't wear it very frequently because sometimes I feel it's a bit too hot. And interestingly, although I thought I would, I never got one of these ultra warm ones. When I read the reviews, many people said that the texture of the material was not as nice. It was not as nice to be worn on its own, so it would only be good to wear as innerwear under something else. But then again, it might have been too warm. Now let's get to socks. Socks are so important for me because I get cold feet all of the time, and after these 2 years of searching for the perfect pair of socks, I ended up buying these Columbia socks. These are really super warm. I really recommend them. And again, I'm not sponsored. And the great thing about these socks is also that if you wash them in the washing machine, you even don't need to put them into the dryer because they dry so fast. You can just simply lay them out, hang them. And in fact, you shouldn't put these into the dryer because otherwise they will shrink. And at first glance, these might even look a bit bulky to you, but honestly, I would never here in the cold winter trade warmth for style. And I even wear these socks at home all of the time because I don't have a carpet at home, so it's really comfortable to be wearing these. Let's move on. I'm not sure if you are a jeans and pants wearer or if you like skirts more. But in any case, it's a good idea to have a pair of stockings or leggings, depending on which you prefer. So I have leggings like these black leggings that are open-ended here, and I also have a set of blue leggings. These are from Uniqlo, and gray ones. So that is how even in the very cold winter at -10 degrees, you'll still be able to wear a fancy skirt. Just make sure that these stockings or leggings are actually thick enough and that you don't buy the very thin ones, the pantyhose type. But even those can be useful if you are someone who prefers to wear pants and jeans and it gets really cold, like -20 degrees. You can even wear those thin stockings under your pants and it helps to warm up your legs even more. Now let's move on. It's really important that you have a hat. You need to get a beanie, a hat, a toque, or whatever, because your ears in the winter will definitely get super cold. So make sure that you have a really comfortable warm beanie that protects you from the wind and snow and rain. Next, let's move on to gloves or mittens. So I currently have 2 pairs of these. I have these here with no fingers. So the fingers are like cut off, and the benefit of this is that you can easily text while wearing these. But the downside is that with these open fingertips, my fingertips tend to get super cold. So it will not be enough to be wearing these at -10 degrees. This is maybe good at around 0 degrees or so. These here are much better. They are super thick. The material is super thick, and inside it has like this kind of fleece, so it's very soft. And these only cost me around I think $10. They were on sale. So you really don't need to buy expensive stuff. The important thing is that you try the items on for yourself, and then you get a feel of how warm it is. By the way, next I'm planning to get those gloves that are thinner and sleeker and have those texting tips, because right now the downside is with these gloves, although they are very warm, every time I want to text I have to do this. I have to take out one of my thumbs. It's not such a big deal either, so I just do this and I text and it works fine. So now let's move on to jackets. This is usually a big question. Many people ask themselves, what kind of jacket do I need in Canada? Does it have to be a Canada Goose? Does it have to be a North Face? Do I need to spend $300-400 on a jacket? And that is what I first thought when I first came to Canada. So I thought that I would need to spend $400-500 in order to make sure that I don't freeze, but luckily that was not the case at all. And I will show you right now the 2 jackets that I have right now and that work totally fine for me. This is the first jacket that I bought here in Toronto, Canada. It's from Nautica. It's not an expensive brand at all. It only cost me around $150, but it worked very well for me, even at temperatures as cold as -18 degrees. As long as you use the layering technique, which means that you use innerwear and you put a pullover on top and then the jacket, then a jacket like this works perfectly fine. And this jacket here I got from Zara, and the reason was just because I wanted to add a pop of color into my wardrobe. And this was only around $55. It was on sale. Again, it's not very warm, the jacket itself, but using that layering technique, this is totally sufficient. So this is why I think it's really important to have a jacket with a good hoodie, because I really like to use these beanies, but the thing is that right now in this situation where you have to wear a mask, and if you wear a beanie then it can be very complicated to get off your mask, because sometimes when you're going somewhere outside, you do want to take your mask off for a while, right? So you have to like kind of do this to take it off, and I just find it very complicated. So instead of using a hat, I sometimes just use this hoodie, and it works completely fine because it fits quite snugly, it's quite tight, and I can also close these buttons here. Okay, so now right now it's super warm, so I'm going to take this off. So let me explain again what I mean by layering. By layering, I mean that you have this innerwear, and again, this can come in different kind of shapes. It can have long arms. There are short arm innerwears too, and there are tank tops too. So you can choose what works best for you. And on top of this innerwear, then you layer on a pullover or another shirt. For example, this pullover. So see, I got this inside here and I got the pullover on top of it. And if in addition to this, I put on one of the jackets that I showed you earlier, then I will be totally fine. And that is the reason why until now, I never felt like I needed a Canada Goose or even a North Face. Maybe next year I'll buy one. Okay, let's now quickly talk about shoes. And I think that you need to have 2 to 3 kinds of shoes here. You need one set of really good winter boots, and then maybe some fancier boots, and then some sport shoes. But I will talk about shoes specifically in another video because I'm concerned this one will be too long. So let's move on. The next thing that you definitely need are a pair of very good joggers. And I have this one. This has a darker color with stripes. And the great thing about this is that I can wear this at home, or I can also use this when I go for a quick trip to the supermarket. It doesn't look too loungy, but when I'm really spending the whole day at home, like I'm doing a lot nowadays, then I really love to wear joggers like these that have a very soft touch to it. These are so cozy. I got them from Aerie, but of course you can get your joggers from anywhere. I think it's very good to have a loose fit because that way they are very comfortable and they are not constraining you in any way. And to complement those joggers, get 1 or 2 very good hoodies. And trust me, those hoodies and joggers will become your new best friends here during the winter. I know when you go online, there are so many nice and fancy, stylish clothes, but when you are here and you're experiencing the cold winter, then you'll realize that you don't really care that much about style anymore. You see nice blouses and dresses that you want to wear, but let's face it, when it's cold like this in the winter, when it's -10 or -20, then the most important thing is that you want to stay warm. And at the same time, you don't want to spend a fortune on clothing either, because guess what? Once the winter is over in a few months, in May and in June, then you'll want to go and start buying summer clothes. So go and get yourself these essential winter items that I talked about just now. Once you have these basics in place, you can always add on another sweater, another blouse, another pair of jeans or so, but make sure that you've got these basics covered if you want to make sure that you don't freeze and you survive the winter here in Toronto, Canada. I hope that this video was useful to you. Drop me your questions in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.